Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, I want to focus and talk about this first form FRIEZA right here. I'm a little bit late on it, but, you know, we're still going to get to it within kind of a timely fashion. Okay, so, actually, real quick, let's go ahead and give FRIEZA a stickerooski. Might as well, right? So, this FRIEZA, this is a Super Boss's support type character. But, I mean, we'll listen, we're going to talk about everything. I always like to start these videos off by showing you guys what I do for builds. So this FRIEZA, of course, I mean, even the biggest anti-dodge person usually would agree going dodge on free-to-play characters, right? Obviously. FRIEZA's not going to be doing damage. Even if he, like, let's say we're going against Beast Gohan. Even if FRIEZA crits, is he going to do damage to Beast? I would say probably no, he's not. So, it's like you're really... The point here is FRIEZA will be giving us a Scouter. So, he could be viable against the Beast Gohan fight, because Beast is movie hero enemy. Although, to be fair, in that fight, you do always know where the super attack is anyway, so I guess the Scouter doesn't actually do anything for you in there. But FRIEZA's a support type character. So, support, you know, make Broly hit harder, Fusion Zamasu, some of these characters. FRIEZA's job is just to not die. That's kind of like the most important thing for first form FRIEZA, right? Now, I don't think he's probably going to end up being very good, and certainly I think some of his use, a lot of this would, you know, rely on the Super Bosses category, which is just very not good. Now, remember, there are two global first options at the moment. Right now, they're global exclusive. Kefla has her EZA INT global, and she is a god. And then, of course, there's Physical Goku Black. I won't comment too much on him. I want to wait and, you know, get him on my account, use him a little bit before I could really go in-depth on the Physical Goku Black. But the Super Bosses category is just not very good. Now, I would like to remind people that Power of Wishes was not very good when the 8th anniversary started last year either. And then they spent the entire year going crazy on it. So there is a really good chance that maybe in January of 2025, going into the 10th anniversary, Super Bosses could be a really strong team and a really competitive team. It's easy. It's not hard to do. Dokkan has proven they could turn a team good pretty fast. They just have to give them good characters. Oh my god, shocking, I know. So, let's just jump in with FRIEZA. FRIEZA is actually on the 200% for the new first form FRIEZA. That's really nice. So we can kind of bring a setup of characters that can kind of work with this INT first form FRIEZA. Let's just sort of see some of the stats and stuff like that that he's going to do. Maybe here and there over the year I could find some uses for him, but we will see. Oh, last thing I should point out. Remember that FRIEZA does have his own equips, right? I showed the build. He does have his own equips you can grind from the event. If you are, you know, damage, there are options for that as well. Like FRIEZA, a bunch of those are for FRIEZA, right? Like the additional in defense right there, the crit and defense. They did give a bunch of different options for these these equips exclusive to FRIEZA. So that's pretty good, right? I do like that they're kind of giving us more options. You could build a character however you want. But I also do maintain for a lot of characters, there is a right and wrong way to build characters. I think going crit or additional on this FRIEZA does nothing for you. It is not a path towards winning whatsoever. Like, you do not raise your chances to win by giving this FRIEZA additional or crits. It's literally just him not dying would be his contribution with the Scouter and with support. So, let's just jump in and take a look at some of the stats that EZA first form FRIEZA can get us. Alright guys, we are here in an event, so let's go ahead and start talking about this FRIEZA. So after his EZA, I don't even really think that this guy got the most insane buffs ever, right? Like, it's... I mean, we got some additional stuff, but I certainly do feel like we could have gotten even more for our boy FRIEZA. Now, one of the major things that FRIEZA does, so we could see this is interesting... FRIEZA gets 50% attack and defense and a Scouter if there is a Pure Saiyan or movie hero category enemy. So we have that up right now. We could see that Broly and Paragus are not supering. Frieza does get an additional super if there's 2 or more enemies. We're going to be able to take advantage of it here in kind of like a showcase situation, but I don't know. I mean, if they really wanted to go that route with Frieza, I almost look at that as like a super battle road type ability. I don't see why Frieza couldn't have had some sort of debuff attached to his super attack effect then. I think prior to his EZA, he was not getting defense. Yeah, he wasn't. Now Frieza is getting 50% attack and defense from his super attack effect. But, you know, again, if we're going to do this, maybe he could have had a stun, even like 30% chance to stun. That could have given a lot of value to that additional. I know he builds up by attacking, but I feel like you guys get what I'm getting at there. Link set we have here, that's Prodigies, that's Frieza Force, or Frieza's Army, as it is on Global. Strongest gun in space, Universe's most malevolent, Thirst for Conquest, Fear and Faith, and Shattering the Limit. Alright, so let's just go ahead and see some of the stats and stuff like that Frieza's going to get us. This is a pretty juiced up turn right here. We, of course, are getting support from STR Cooler. Now, remember, just like the first form Frieza, the Pod Frieza, the Dokkan Fest, the recent Dokkan Fest, who is not on Transformation Boost, this EZA first form Frieza is also not on Transformation Boost, right? This Frieza is not. So, in order for Cooler to be supporting him, 2.7. 2.7 right there. There's an additional. Now here, that's 2 enemies. Now he's up to 4.3. Frieza builds up 25% attack and defense with each attack performed up to a maximum of 100%. So within an instant, we have built up already, you know, 75% of those stats. Okay. Yeah, there's just a lot of issues I'm seeing with this guy. They really, like, made sure to let you know that this is a free-to-play character. that's kind of the thing I'm looking at with this Frieza is like, yeah, he's definitely free-to-play. All right, so let's go ahead and see. We're gonna have a nice little rotation for us right here, right? We're gonna have Frieza's army up now. Let's take a look at this defense. So he's at 389k defense. Okay. I mean, it's not the worst ever. He's not getting, like, additional defense. Like, he doesn't have, like, a passive super attack defense buff. He is getting 50% from his actual super attack effect, right? But he's not getting, like, say, you know, 50% attack and defense, you know, on super attack just in his passive. So we do have to do one more to fully build that up. But one thing I really don't like about this Frieza here, so he is a support type character. He gives super bosses category allies 2 key and 30% defense. I don't understand why he's giving super bosses just key and defense. Why is it not 3 key and 50% attack and defense? That doesn't make sense to me. Like this is where it's like you know, a lot of times people will say I'm like nitpicking and I've got a Mickey Mouse checklist and like blah 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 blah. But like this shit always ends up mattering, man. Like it's like, you know, I don't know what super boss is a horrible category. Like free to play players do exist. Shocking. I think that this Frieza being a good option for super bosses would help. And like right now, I just don't like I barely see value for this guy. Because his support is 2 key and 30% defense. The only thing this Frieza's really bringing to the table is this Scouter. That's it. That's all he's bringing to the table is a Scouter. Like, that is good. A Scouter is good. But, like, that's it? On a 2024 character? I still maintain, just because a character's free to play does not mean they need to be bad. And it's like, you know, I will, like, kind of, like, defer to like the int LR team Bardock. Like I don't really have an issue with how they did them, but like that's clearly meant to be like a beginner team. Frieza is like a super boss's character. By the way, that additional right there that we keep missing, it's an additional that's a 50% chance to be a super if HP is 50% or more, but we keep missing it. So yeah, I just don't know, like these little like, it's like micro shafts across a unit's kit. that just adds up, and it's just tough. Frieza also, you know, I should mention, does not have big bad bosses. That's tough. Now, I mean, I'm just running Frieza kind of like on this first form Frieza team right here. Mostly, I'm doing this just to show Frieza on like a 200%, right? Like, we're kind of just looking at like what are his stats looking like on like a solid 200% team. But of course, like when we're like using Frieza, like if we bring him against like Blue Gogeta or something like that, we would, you know, want to be running him on a Super Bosses team. There's just numerous things this Frieza could and should get. Number one, too, like to improve this Frieza, maybe give him just 70% chance to dodge, base. 70% dodge. Boom. Toss that on there. Super Boss's support jumps up to 3 key, 50% attack and defense. Those two things, and then I would also say 30% chance to stun on the super attack effect. Those 3 things, and then this Frieza becomes a much more impressive option. So then think of his role on the Super Bosses team, giving the monster support to Broly, you know, EZA, Full Power Jiren down the line, maybe Kefla, some of these characters. If we're in a Super Battle Road stage, you know, he potentially could stun, and then he has the additional super against multiple enemies, so you could take advantage of that. Oh, I missed the stun, but we're up against multiple enemies, so you get the second super, now I stun, right? Like, that would be good. And then he'd have the Scouter. Like, he would be a real character, and he would have 70% chance to dodge, which we could take advantage of the 70% chance to dodge against normals, because in this day and age, bosses, normals, are doing over 1 million damage a lot of times. And then, like, we have, like, Frieza right here, who's sitting at 393k, fully built up. And it's like, you know, he gets 50% from a super attack effect, but, I mean, I don't know, guys. I do not know. I don't know. All right. I might just make this the final turn of the video here. I mean, we've covered all the major aspects of this kit, all the major details for this Frieza. We covered it all. So, let me know what you guys are thinking about this Frieza, but I don't think he's good enough. To be honest, I don't think Sleepy Beerus, Pajamas Beerus, is good enough either. I know he has his one good turn, which is awesome, but I think that the 6th anniversary free-to-play characters were just really looking good. So I don't know that we have ever quite gone up to that. The 2023 Golden Week free-to-play characters were pretty solid as well. There we go. There's a triple super. Nice. Okay, so there we go. There is first form Frieza free-to-play character after his EZA. Alright guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this Frieza right here. The EZA 9th anniversary character, right? So this is Swift Retaliation Frieza first form. Leader skill is the Super Bosses category, key 3 and 77% of stats. Or Int type key 3 and 50% of stats. Super attack is the Death Beam, which gives 50% attack and defense and does supreme damage to the enemy. Getting the 50% defense there, that's good. I really would have liked, again, maybe a seal or like a 30% stun or a 50% stun or something like that. I think that would be a nice combo, or, you know, nice, just good kit design with the additional super Frieza gets against multiple enemies. That could be good. Because it would give you real, like, value out of that second super in a super battle road run, which is what I could kind of see for him. But still, just at least getting the 50% defense is good. We'll take that. Passive skill is Inauguration Speech. He gets 2 key and 100% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he gets 25% attack and defense with each attack performed, up to a max of 100% stats. He gives Super Bosses category allies 2 key and 30% defense. He gets an additional as a high chance to be a super when HP is 50% or more. He gets an additional super when facing 2 or more enemies. And then finally, he gets 50% attack and defense and a Scouter if there's a Pure Saiyan or Movie Hero category enemy. That is really good. I do think that the Scouter is a ridiculously powerful ability, and Frieza having access to that is really good. I don't mind the restriction against, you know, what type of enemy it is. Like, you could fill free-to-play characters up with restrictions in exchange for making them good, and I think that's fair. I think Dokkan relies way too often on restrictions to hold down Dokkan Fest exclusive level characters, which they should not do, right? If they're going to do that to restrict a character to keep them from being too OP, it should be free-to-play characters like this Frieza, not the Dokkan Fest first form Frieza. He should not have any category restrictions whatsoever. He should be what he is on every single team. That's what Dokkan Fest characters should be. So there's that. I mentioned it before, but Frieza doesn't have defensive mechanics. I mean, we could consider the Scouter, sort of, sure, but it's not like Frieza is safe against normal attacks anyway. You're relying on hidden potential system dodge. And Frieza doesn't really do damage. I mean, he's a free-to-play support. He doesn't need to do damage. So it's like you could go, 30-plus dodge, essentially get a medium chance to dodge, but it would be nice to, if he just had 70% dodge, and then we'd have 30 hidden potential system dodge. That'd be really good. And then he's a Scouter, and he's a support. I don't know what, like, they're trolling with this. This is offensive. Are you kidding? Where's the attack? Why is it only 2 key? Why is it only 30% defense? Doesn't make sense. Again, should I pull up 6th anniversary Tien and Roshi, who give, 3 key and 40% stats? Matter of fact, I will pull them up. Again, a lot of times people, think I'm really digging into these units or being overly negative or nitpicking or making stuff up, but like, here we go. Here is a support buff. These boys came out on February 9th of 2021, and they just give their category 3 key 40% stats. Frieza 2024, and we're at 2 key and 30% defense. Make it make sense. It doesn't, is the answer. Links are Strongest Clan in Space, Universe's Most Malevolent, Frieza's Army, Thirst for Conquest, Prodigies, Fear and Faith, Shouting Limit. I really would prefer if this Frieza had big bad bosses. That would be good. I mean, I suppose Broly doesn't have big bad bosses, but I mean, you guys get it. It's the best link in the game. Much rather character have it. And then Frieza's 12 kill multiplier is 140%, which is the typical number that we do see. And then finally, category teams, Frieza's on. Frieza's, of course, on super bosses, which is, I mean, maybe one of the worst teams in the game. One of the reasons it's so bad is that a lot of the characters aren't cohesive together. That's one of the main problems. And we don't really have significant glue characters. Like LR Bulma could help bring a team sort of together. Like, if we got the Super Bosses version of LR Bulma and the Super Bosses version of, like, Carnival Blue Gogeta, like, that would make Super Bosses a lot better. Stuff like that. Then Frieza's on Wicked Bloodline, of course. A couple of options added to Wicked Bloodline recently. Frieza's also on the Terrifying Conqueror category team. Okay. Then Frieza's on Inhuman Deeds. One day, Inhuman Deeds is going to get a real category leader. We'll see. Could be a fun team when it does. Then Frieza's on Space Traveling Warriors as well. Sure. Frieza's also on the Gifted Warrior category team also. And then finally, Frieza is on Planetary Destruction. Yeah, this is Planetary Destruction. This is the category that Frieza is on right here. So let me know what you guys think. Unfortunately, yeah, Frieza is not on Transformation Boost. I hate... It does seem... Like, I don't know why... Like, why are all these, like, first form Friezas not on Transformation Boost? Doesn't really make a ton of sense to me. I don't know. Just feels like they probably should. I don't know. Right? But let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys next time.